Looks like it's thoughts and prayers for the OnlyFans cam girls, at least when it comes to the advent of artificial intelligence that's really starting to foster up fears, or should I say predictions, about what will come of the e-thought of today. It looks like the realm of online cam girls are fearing their own potential great replacement theory, based upon predictions that AI, artificial intelligence, will completely eradicate the need for there to be real, genuine OnlyFans girls and what have you, showing their goods on camera, because they can be replaced by an AI-generated photo or video of the perfect person who doesn't exist. To make the AI conundrum all the more complicated, you do have legitimate concerns coming from online content creators who do not show their body so as to enrich themselves. But what these content creators are worried about is the very real possibility of AI-generated deepfake photos and videos, basically showing them in the buff, even though the genuine, real individual did no such thing with a camera or a webcam. All I can say is the next few years are going to be very interesting. My name's Greg Hoyt, and this is The Breakdown. Hey, this is Greg Hoyt from The Breakdown. If you're new here and checking out the channel on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at GregHoytLET. Anyway, let's get on to the video. We've got something, an interesting discussion topic, an interesting thing to cover today. As many know, the advent of artificial intelligence, AI, it's only expanding. It's only getting bigger, and its connections to automation and so on and so forth. But recently, a point has been brought up, or a prediction, a theory, that artificial intelligence will wind up replacing and obliterating the cam girl model business. And by cam girl, I'm talking about the type of women that stream their bodies on OnlyFans, insofar that AI will be able to just outright replace those women that expose themselves on said platforms. It's an interesting thought. Pun intended, or pun unintended, with thought, if you guys know the acronym. But I find it to just be a really, really unique topic, and I think there is some merit to the notion, to the prediction. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So the prediction, at least one of the larger accounts that threw the prediction out there into the ether, is this Alex character. He's a crypto guy, so on and so forth. And he put this post out there on January 28th, showcasing a completely AI-generated picture, which they are getting more and more difficult to decipher. You see, he wrote right here, prediction by 2025, over half of the top OnlyFans accounts will be AI-generated models secretly run by men. None of the women below are real. Like, here we are taking a closer look at the picture, and it's unsettling, it's uncanny, just how far this AI stuff can go. Because, if this were just a picture that somebody scrolled by, maybe saw it in a magazine or something like that, like if it were, maybe an underwear advertisement or something, folks wouldn't think twice. They would think like, hey, this is a genuine picture. This is a real picture. Albeit like these two characters look eerily similar. But, to the untrained eye, this looks 100% legit. And so the concept would be, the idea is, that it's not just going to be still images. They're going to be able to produce videos via AI to completely wreck the authentic, models, I guess you want to say, the authentic cam girls. They'll be ousted by women created by a computer. So Alex over here is pointing out the tell with that particular picture, that particular example that was shared earlier. He's pointing out the tell, saying the hands are the giveaway, but in a year or so, that problem will be mitigated. So yeah, you look at the hands and it looks like, well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers, but no thumb, you know what I mean? Because this kind of looks like it, and also just, taking into consideration the hand, the fingers look weird in general, or maybe that's supposed to be the thumb, I'm not quite sure. But, it does look odd, but that's something that you really have to zoom in. Really have to zoom in to find out. And here's where this Alex character is making the argument as to why this is basically going to be an inevitability. This is just going to eventually transpire. where he compares and contrasts real, authentic people, real models, versus what, an engineer can come up with AI. So he puts with real model, takes hours to create generic content, has to work hard to stay in shape, only has one look. Whereas a prompt engineer, they have unlimited content from just a few sentences, can create tons of diverse models, personalized content for each simp. And that's really what it boils down to. Obviously, platforms like OnlyFans, it really blew up, if I'm not mistaken, during like the period of the pandemic where a lot of people were staying home and all that stuff. And, you had the simp. If you're not familiar with the term simp, just go ahead and look it up. Depending on who you directed at and how you utilize it, some people may see it as a derogatory term or an insult. I just think it's a hilarious term. I usually use like simp or Coomer or something like that. If you guys aren't familiar with the Coomer meme, you got to look that up. It's hilarious. But yeah, it is the simps that are driving the profitability of platforms like OnlyFans that have enriched people who decide to share their body online, women who share their body online. Now, not all creators on that platform are created equal. There's like an amalgamation of people who just like fall into obscurity because they can't compete with the top 10%, top 1% on that platform, because that's a platform where looks win. If people are paying for scantily clad women or nude gals and stuff like that, pictures, videos, it's going to be the prettiest person wins. It's not going to be this virtue signaling stuff or anything like that. You're not going to see a whole lot of body positivity rising to the top on that platform. But for those folks to stay in shape, yeah, it takes them hours to produce that content. They got to upload it. They got to manage their, subscribers or something, I would imagine. I imagine it works much like any other, social media platform, except, the subscribers are only consuming the content related to pornography for the most part. But yeah, those people, those genuine people on OnlyFans, yeah, they've only got one look. It is their look. Whereas somebody can recreate that person via AI or create a better looking person, create 10 different people and operate those accounts and just have streams of money coming in. So the funny thing is, by Alex merely pointing this out, by this Alex fella pointing this out, and it's a very logical point. He brought forth a logical prediction. He noticed that he was getting some pushback or getting mocked by authentic women who find this to be just a laughable situation. So you see, update, the adult creators are not happy with this prediction. To put their minds at ease, I'm sharing resources so they can adopt. So yeah, it looks like somebody named Violet Doll. I don't know who that is, but I'm guessing it's one of those adult creators, saying, so men will be jerking off to other men. Perfect. Have fun. And so what Alex shares with him, he shares like an article or a screenshot saying career pivots can certainly be challenging. I recommend this AI image generation course to get ahead of the game. That's the thing. The fact of the matter is not a lot of women get into the thick of IT work, like insofar as like, coding, AI and all that stuff. It's not a female dominated field by any stretch of the imagination. And so a field that they do dominate currently, like a field that women, compose the majority of and get most of the money out of, is like the adult entertainment industry and these cam girl sites. They're going to get ousted by guys who can code. It's a little bit of irony. I happen to agree with the prediction. And see, this is another hilarious update to it. Alex stated that he's got porn stars arguing with NFT traders and software engineers on my thread. Where else can you get this diversity of opinions? Should we host an open mic Twitter spaces on this? Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the folks in the NFT space and the software engineers, they're probably agreeing with Alex, noting like, hey, this is just going to be something that will eventually happen. And the girls who professionally take off their clothes for money on the internet, they're probably not having it. They're not having it. They just think that there's no way that this can transpire. And it's just not the case. And see, even Gab News on Twitter is discussing the possibility of AI taking over the adult industry, porn industry, whatever you want to call it. Gab wrote on January 31st, AI is going to free our women from the bondage of OnlyFans because they won't be able to compete with AI women. AI is going to free our men from the bondage of porn because we can use it to automatically detect and censor it on all of their devices so they are not tempted. Yeah, that is another cross benefit to AI for folks that don't want to see that type of content. Yeah, there's going to be AI tools in the future that will be able to preemptively find this stuff online and make sure it's never put in front of somebody's face. I mean, we've had like apps kind of like that over the years, over the past decade or even two, that block websites and things like that. But those are very limited purpose solutions. They don't really stop everything from getting put in front of somebody who doesn't want to see a specific thing. Looks like Gab News is really trying to trigger some people with this one, because a continuation of the thread, it reads, "In fact, AI will replace most of the jobs women entered the workforce to do, which will then leave them no choice but to take the job that AI can never replace. Being barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen as a loving wife and mother." I don't know if AI is going to replace every job that women do in the workforce. I mean, for instance, like you see women compose a majority of positions in the realm of healthcare. Not necessarily like doctors or surgeons per se, but women do make up a majority in fields like nursing, and it's hardly a controversial thing to say, because I can say this not only based upon the data that's out there about women in healthcare. I was literally at the hospital like twice in the past week and a half, and the majority of people that I saw that I interacted with at the hospital, they were women. People taking my blood pressure, people putting in stitches, removing stitches, stuff like that. Like anyone who's gone to a hospital in recent times, you walk through there, it's a majority of women. And it looks like you've already got some people addressing the fact that artificial intelligence is creating a weird space insofar as orchestrating deep fakes of existing adult content creators or whatever. You see the Zach character saying AI deepfake porn made of people without their consent might be hard to stop, but can we at least agree that it's really fucking weird? And then you've got this Twitch streamer, this sweet Anita, responding to it saying, "I want to live in a world where people go to prison for sexually soliciting other people's bodies without their consent. This should not be the price I have to pay for wanting to entertain people." There are undoubtedly people who may not make any, nude content on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, people who just do like YouTube content, Twitch content, stuff like that. And they're legitimately worried because they do have like kind of simpy fans that think they're attractive. They're worried that AI deepfake porn is going to be impacting them, even though they don't have any genuine nude pictures or videos out in the ether. They're genuinely concerned that with this technology, people will just be able to conjure these things, to create these things and disseminate them. And yeah, that is slightly alarming. And it's one of those things where I don't know how that would be addressed legislatively. Do you even do anything? Is it a real victim? Or is it a victimless crime? Or is the person being portrayed as nude even though they weren't? Are they a victim? This does create some unique conundrums and questions that need to be answered pertaining to how quickly AI is evolving and what folks are able to accomplish with the technology. And when you look at some of the responses to this sweet Anita character, where she's bringing up a legitimate concern, because yes, I don't think unwilling participants would want to have their face plastered on a nude body. But at the same time, you have people bringing up concerns and what have you on whether this is like a victimless type of thing. But you've got people responding to her saying like, hey, do you really want to see people go to prison for, potentially a victimless crime of, what is essentially like, Photoshop on steroids? So you see like this Zam character saying, "So if I look at a woman and get aroused, do I go to prison?" Another person asking, "So should I go to prison for drawing someone in a sexual context then?" And then you've got another person saying, "This is not me agreeing that it's okay, but a deep fake is not your body though. It's your face, sure, or am I missing something?" I mean, I can't say this enough. I find this whole discussion surrounding artificial intelligence and its potential impacts or looming impacts on things like the cam girl business, the OnlyFans stuff, and then also how you may have other casualties who don't put any nude content on the internet that may be swept up in this nonsense by, savvy developers who just create the nude content of them via, AI image generation and video generation. And it's one of those things where we don't know how to address that. I mean, I personally don't know how to accurately address it because, when it comes to AI, somebody can say it's simple as animation or a drawing or whatever. It's a more robust, more complex drawing, admittedly. But, at the same time, it's like, all right, do we criminalize art? Yes, art is a subjective term. But I don't know. This is going to be one of those things where you're going to see legislators have to address this in the coming years because it's apparent that AI deepfake stuff is already in the mix. It's already transpiring. And that's something where people are going to say, hey, I'm a victim of X, Y, and Z. As for the completely imaginary models that can be AI generated, I don't think, legislation can really do anything to curb that. Somebody wants to make a fake person or a group of fake people and have them compete with the OnlyFans models. I'm like, okay, go for it. I mean, it sounds hilarious. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much the long and short of it. I'm really curious to hear other people's thoughts and opinions on this. So drop a comment below if you've got a stance or maybe a possible solution or how this should be addressed, so on and so forth. But I find this just to be such an interesting topic because it's not a matter of if, it's more so a matter of when this kind of digital revolution transpires and upends all these very proud feminist sex workers from their online spaces. This has been The Breakdown. Peace.